Hey, it's Mark with Mark's Virtual Real Estate Channel. We're back with another Upland video, and today we're talking about the newest city that's been announced to be released, and that is Rio. So I'll go over some things about Rio, the announcements, what Upland is saying, and then I'm going to talk about a little bit about how I figure out where might be good places to buy in the new cities and what areas I might target. So I know nothing about Rio, if people know some inside information on what's cool in Rio, let us know here. I'd love to hear it here or on our Discord channel. And of course, we'll have a link to the Discord channel below as well. But we'll talk about Rio here just in a second. First off, let's give an update on what's going on with our lazy nodes and different stuff. And of course, we love the likes, comments, shares. Keep all those coming. Love having 1,000 subscribers now. So thank you for all your help in getting me there. And the lazy nodes have been a ton of fun too with our community as well. Now I also have Mark Ferguson Invest for More, a real estate channel. It goes over our flips, rentals, all that stuff. So make sure you check out that channel as well if you're interested in real life real estate investing. All right, so we have some lazy node news, and that's related to the Rio release. And first off, we've got our contest going still. So if you haven't seen our channel, we do contests every few days to 10 days for community builds in our lazy nodes. And a lazy node is basically a community where people get together, buy properties, build properties. We built a Discord around it, and we call ours lazy nodes because there's no requirement. You don't have to fill out any paperwork or do anything to be in the node. You don't even have to own property to be in the node. Just hang out with us on Discord, and you're welcome. But in these nodes, we've done very well building properties. The values have raised significantly, which we'll show you here in a second. And we're working on helping other people right now. So here is our contest winner with the apartment. That usually takes a little longer, down to 15 days. But before that is done, we'll have a new contest. So I made a rule that we'll do a new contest at least every 10 days. So on the apartments, we might not quite get them all the way finished before we do a new community build, but it'll be most of the way finished. People are allowed to stake Spark whenever, however they want. There's no rules there. We just try and do these contests, and how it works is you comment on one of these videos, I do a drawing, and we announce the winner, and then lots of people get together and dedicate Spark to that winner, and it's been fantastic. It's been lots of fun. We've done 8 of these so far. So that's going well. I have a new build started here just because this area right here, I'm really trying to be cool to build it up a little more. So I've got some time left on that one, and might have to buy some more properties in this area too here. Although I've got some other ideas for building as well. So Neponzen's been doing great. Just before we go, I need to double check and make sure there's no waterfront properties for sale. Those are for sale, but they're very expensive. Okay. And then Henry Ford has been doing well as too, and Henry Ford is our other lazy node over in Detroit. And let's scroll over here. And the thing I want to do in Henry Ford, which I've talked to the YouTube channel, my viewers, before in our last video, was I'm looking for an area where I can buy some land to build a factory. So if anybody has some big lots, at least 200 up to or up squared, however they say that, let me know. And I'm looking, this one is possibly for sale, so I'm thinking about that one. And I've got some offers in on some other ones as well. That's why my UPX is so low right now, because I have made some offers. I made some other offers, and they've all been rejected so far. But I think it'll be cool to have a factory. And when building a factory, I went through it in the last video. You have to make sure you have quite a bit of land. It's not just a factory, it's your inventory lot. Have to make sure it's the right sizes and everything to fit it as well. So there are some properties for sale here, but like that one's, was it 700,000? Yep. They're pretty expensive, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of money with Rio coming up. But you can see, other areas are having factories built. There's a factory that's not quite in our node, and saw another one along 8 Mile. So definitely something people are trying to do is get some factories built up, and I think that would be fun to do. So that's the lazy nodes there. And then, of course, we'll check out and see what the floor is doing, because with Rio announced, a lot of times you see the floors drop as people try to liquidate. And so there's opportunity there to get some good deals if you're not wanting to save all your money for, whoops, I didn't do that right. I forgot the neighborhood. If you're trying to save your money, for Rio, people don't want to buy too much, they want to sell, so it really drops the market a lot. But if you're not looking to buy in Rio, don't want to travel there, whatever, because it can be a little cumbersome from what I've looked at, there can be opportunities to buy in other areas as well. So you can see our floor is down to 30. It was at close to 40 last week. And it has been slowly dropping a little bit. More properties for sale, but we jumped this up from 6,000 to 8,000 upicks when we first started. So it's still doing really well here. And I should check and see if there's any big ones that came up for sale. Again, there's a 191 for 130. That's not a bad price. 185 for 495. That's not bad either. I just prefer one that's a little bit bigger. Although that's even on Grand too, which is a collection street. So we'll see. All right, then let's check out Neponsit and then talk about Rio real quick and see how the Neponsit floor is doing. This one started in the mid 20s, and we got it up to, whoa, that's based on. There we go. Oh, there's a cheap one in Neponsit too. So this was close to 60 for a while, and you can see we had a couple drop, and then there's a real cheap one there. So that, oh, I wonder where this one is. See, this is the problem with new cities. It's not just saving your money and getting there and minting new properties and all that. It's the cheap prices in other areas too that make you want to spend all your money there too. And then there's Spark Week this week as well. So, you know, how much money do you want to spend this week and next week with the city opening? Let's see. That one right there. Okay. I'm not going to buy it right now. All right. All right. So those are the lazy nodes, and we've seen how they've been affected a little bit, and usually the entire market is affected as well. In fact, I know I keep saying we're going to talk about Rio, but one last time. Let's see what San Francisco floor is doing. 26. So that's staying about where it was, but that's still super low compared to where it used to be. All right. So Upland is announcing Rio, and Rio is the first international city, as many of you know. It's been announced for a while, but that it would be released. We just haven't gotten the details. Now we have the details on when it will be released. So Rio launches in Upland on July 26th at 5 a.m. Pacific time. 5 a.m. So for those of us who are used to their 9 a.m., 8 a.m. releases, this is a little bit earlier. If you're on the West Coast, I'm in Colorado. I'm 1 hour behind or ahead of, I don't even know how you say that, Pacific time. So it'd be 6 a.m. my time, 5 a.m. if you're on the West Coast. That's an early start. Won't be too bad for those in the Midwest, West Coast, or East Coast, sorry. But that's an early start. So I will be up and recording and showing everybody what I'm doing, just like I do with all my city release videos. But I might be a little tired. We'll see. They have a brand partner, which again, I'm not as big on the brands. I care more about the buying and selling. A Rio terminal sale opens July 22nd at 4 a.m. And then I think you have a day to register. And then the Rio stress test is July 25th at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So if we get out our little calendar, we can see that's Monday. Monday is a stress test at 9 a.m. Pacific time. I won't tell you what your time zone is. You'll have to figure that out. And then Tuesday, the next day at 5 a.m. Pacific time, is a full city release. All right, so it's planned to release. Still seems so early. But it's planned to release as a partial release, 50,000 properties covering as much of the eastern coast touching Guanabara Bay. Okay, so if we go to Rio, which will take us a little while, it's pretty far away. Traveling, we're flying our plane. Nope, gotta keep coming this way. Should be down here somewhere. No, Argentina, we went too far. There it is. There's Rio. What is going on here? That's Rio. Why is their map messed up? It's saying Rio is over there. Okay, there's a different Rio up there. Here we go. All right, so this must be the East Coast. Again, I know nothing about Rio. So this must be, is this the Bay? I'm guessing. Here, we might have to cheat. We'll look at the map and see what's going on here. Okay, so all of that is Rio. Yes, that is Guanabara Bay. My pronunciation is not good on these, just as many of you know from my Detroit release, and Gratiot Avenue that did very well for me, but I could never say it right. All right, so imagine they're trying to release most of this along here, is my guess. So along this area right here. And if you're new to a city release, they will show the neighborhoods, but not for like usually 8 hours, 10 hours before they release the city. So you won't be able to see what the actual neighborhoods are and what they're being released for a little while, but then at least on the map. But then a lot of times they'll release them on Discord sooner. People will find the map sooner. So we'll keep a wide eye out for that and see if those are released yet. In fact, hold on a second. Okay, I was just checking Discord to see if I could see if any maps were released yet. I don't see anything, so we'll have to wait a little bit longer. A lot of times some people get the maps out there a little early. I don't know how they get it or they find it, but they do show up. So we'll wait for that map, but 50,000 properties is pretty small. Let's see here. So I was just checking. Las Vegas had 77,000 properties released, so this will be a smaller release than Vegas, and Vegas was a pretty small release. So don't expect this to be a giant city like Los Angeles. I think Upland learned that releasing hundreds of thousands of properties at once did not work out well in Los Angeles. I was trying to figure out how many cities there were or properties were released in Los Angeles, and I wasn't able to find that real quick. But if somebody knows, let us know below in the comments. So what is the strategy for Upland? Well, first you've got to get there. So we talked about the release details, fun facts about Rio. I don't really care. The terminal sale. If you get lucky, you can register for that. Getting to Rio and Upland. So you have to take a plane, right? You can't take a train. LAX, San Francisco, JFK. All of these will take you there, ranging from 3,300 to 4,400 UPIX to get there. And it'll take you a while as well, so remember that. Now, note, travel for all players to and from Rio will be free for 48 hours starting Monday, July 25th at 12 a.m. Pacific time. Again, that's like 1 a.m. my time, very early. So it'll be free until Wednesday, July 27th. So it's free for pretty much the release. So that's good. But then you've got to wait until 1 a.m. my time to be able to fly over there and get there. And then the release will be at 9 a.m. a little bit later than that. So make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get there. And then we won't even know exactly where the airport, well, I'm sure we could look where the airport is, but where the neighborhoods will be. Rio de Janeiro stress test begins in the Centro neighborhood. The stress test usually is a good way to make money. If you're going to be there for the stress test, especially if there's just one neighborhood being released, it's the day before the rest of the release. You can usually buy properties, sell them very quickly, especially in our first international city with not many properties. I'm guessing the stress test will be a good way to make some money. I made good money in Las Vegas during that stress test. And then on Tuesday, 5 a.m., the city officially launches. And then we'll go on our buying frenzy after that happens. So, as a partial city release, we'll soon announce plans for additional properties. Also, the July 26th opening will not include Rio landmarks, which are reserved for future distribution. Okay, so just like Vegas, they're saying that they might release more of the city at later dates, but they haven't told us when or how any of that will happen. All right, so how do you figure out where to buy in? Oh, look at that. Oh, registration is now open for the terminal sale. Sure, we'll register for that. I've never come. Oh, there you go. An hour we have Spark. Okay, cool. All right, I'm getting distracted. I'm still having my other guy in Rio. Okay, so how do we figure out where to buy in Rio or different cities? Here's kind of the steps I've always done in the past. One, Google can be our friend and say, famous streets in Rio. Like, that's it. And a lot of times you'll have lists that pop up. You can search through these, see what people say, and then that can give you a list of kind of what other people think the famous streets are. So a lot of times it's not what you think, even if you're from Rio and you think you know of some awesome streets. Well, if nobody else outside of Rio or outside your neighborhood thinks it's that cool, it might not be that valuable. But if lots of people around the world think it's valuable, those are the ones you can usually make money on. And there's no guarantee that will be a collection, but if you can buy properties that people think will be in collections and sell them before the collections are announced, you can make a lot of money. And that's usually been my strategy as well, is to try and guess where collections might be, where people think the collections will be, get properties in that area, flip them before the collections are announced, collect my money, and then if I'm wrong and it's not a collection, great, I still made money. If I'm right, it was a collection, it's usually not that much of a huge boost, even after the collections are announced, unless it's like an ultra rare collection. So you can look on here and see where streets are. You can even kind of look at the the most valuable neighborhoods in Rio. Sometimes that will help, and sometimes you can get, if you click on images here, oh, that is not what I was looking for, but I don't think they'll have it in the US or in Rio, but in the US you'll have like heat maps on, oh, most valuable, I forgot the neighborhood part, that's what's wrong. I know I didn't spell that right, but sometimes you can see the heat maps of, there's kind of a little bit of one, tourist, student, that's not quite what we're looking for, but in the US you'll definitely see like heat maps on which areas are most valuable, most expensive. I don't know if we can find that in Rio or not, but that might be something we target for later on. No, that's not one. But that's one way to do it. And then one of the best ways to do it too is to just hop on Discord, on the Upland channel, on other channels, see what other players are talking about, what they think will be popular, and go on other YouTubers' channels. Like Upland Analysis has a great channel. He does great collection predictions. I listen to his videos to see what he thinks will be a collection, because a lot of times other people are following them too. So if you really want to make money with these releases, a lot of times it's predicting what other people will think the collections will be, trying to buy those properties and sell those properties before the collections are announced. And then after the collections are announced, sometimes you can go in there, mint more properties, and sell properties that way as well. So that's the Rio City release. We will see where the neighborhoods are here. Hopefully some kind of map is released in the next couple of days and give us some kind of heads up on what it will look like. We'll have more videos about the release. Of course, I'll film myself there minting properties, probably in the stress test and the full release as well. I will be flying there early if I can. Might be staying up late that night to get myself there. And then, yeah, we should have a lot of fun on Rio. We'll see how much demand there is, if it goes crazy and mints out, or if it doesn't, because like I said, Las Vegas was a very small release as well. And there are still, last time I checked, quite a few unminted properties there. So, yep, you can see some FSAs. There's some, there's unminted properties all over. So, we'll see if that happens in Rio too, or if it all mints out. And if they're having everything along the coast and there's lots of waterfront, lots of interesting neighborhoods, I think that would entice people to buy more as well. Whereas Vegas is just kind of in a desert and there's no water. And there's not much, interesting terrain here. The only thing we had was, the casinos, the strip, the streets, and some neighborhoods. So there might be a little more excitement on Rio about waterfront, different neighborhoods. We'll see how all that goes. All right, that's all I've got for now. Of course, we'll have more updates as we get closer to the release. Love the likes, love the comments, love seeing new subscribers as well. And if you have any comments, please leave them below. If you have any suggestions for Rio, leave them below. Love to hear what you think. I'll be doing a little bit more research here as we get closer. And thank you so much for watching. We'll be back soon.